Hey everybody! I am pulling out a few things to make some monoprints, which is something that I've been wanting to make a video about. And I just made some quick ones this morning, and I would just use some scrap paper and some acrylic paint. This is great for getting different textures, for backgrounds, for art journals, or just to use as pages or covers or whatever you want. I'm going to show you just a few ideas to get started. The supplies are pretty simple. This is from like an old picture frame. It's, I don't know, acrylic, plastic. Plexi, it's not really plexi, but plexiglass would work, or like a baking sheet or something like that, or glass, but that's kind of dangerous. Any like slippery surface, and it does kind of look like I'm just painting on my table, but there is this plasticky thing that I'm going to be working on. I just grabbed a couple of paintbrushes. I'm going to just use some acrylic paint, and I also got just some tools that I had laying around from stamping projects just to see what that would do. And I'm also just using 70-pound drawing paper. So this is actually going to be my workspace right here. Let me see if I can lift this up a little bit. And I'll start with a lighter color. And I'm just going to, whatever surface you're working on, just add some paint. So there are a couple of approaches to this. You can either paint like a solid application and then draw into or remove some of the paint. So let's see. Let me try this. Alright, so this is kind of like removing some of the paint. Or you could use a Q-tip, which I'm not going to use a Q-tip today, but you could also use like a clean dry brush, and you can remove some of the paint that way. You could add other colors into the design. I don't want to let this go for too long because it'll start drying. This is kind of like a jelly print. Actually, it's probably really similar to a jelly print. So before it dries, it's probably already drying, but I'm going to go ahead and make a print. So I'm just going to take, oops, kind of bigger than my paper. I'm just going to lay it right on top. Rub. So maybe this is the cheap version of jelly prints because you don't need a jelly plate. And, well, I don't know too much about jelly prints, but I know a lot of people use inks, I think, for jelly printing. You don't need inks. All right, It does feel like the paint started drying already before I got my paper on, but let's see. It's pretty fun. All right. So I'm just gonna keep this paint right on here, and actually I'll wipe it off. I should have done this the other way, but should have started. Whatever. All right, I'm just gonna wipe this off. Actually, maybe I'll leave a little haze of the old paint. And then I'm gonna use some black, so I'll just put some there. Maybe I'll do some texture with this brush. Do some stamping. Which, you know, you could just do this directly onto paper, but this is maybe a little, creates a different effect this way. For this one, I'm going to move a little bit faster so that my paint doesn't start drying on me. This way. Of course, if I was smart, I would kind of tape off the size of the piece of papers, the size of the papers that I'm using, so that I didn't unnecessarily add more paint than I needed to, but whatever. All right, I'm gonna do another one by just painting. Can use some of those scrapers that I showed how to make in my paste paper video to make different designs. Let's see, what else can we do here? I think I'm gonna add on to this print because we could use a little bit more here. So I think I'll add some blue. As you can see, I'm very methodical. Guess that's how we're doing it. Whoa. Pretty pretty interesting. Not really my style, but hey. All right, so I'm gonna wash this off in a little bit. I've been thinking about what kind of book that I wanted to make, or that I want to make, using these as covers. And since this is kind of flexible, this one's a little more sturdy back here, I think that I'm gonna trim these down even more, and I think I'm gonna do some sort of stab binding. So I think the plan right now is to cut these pages down to about the sides, and then I'll do the side binding here, and then this will be able to be flexible enough to open up, and then these will all be able to bend back as well. So I might get my paper cutter going for trimming these. I have been using my paper knife to cut them down, but I think just so that they fit better, I'll just use my paper cutter. So I think since we're looking at this one, I think this one's my favorite so far, which I didn't record. This was earlier, but of course circles would be my favorite. But I just like the quality of the print for these. This is kind of too crazy for my liking, but now that they're smaller pieces, I actually like the print better, because there's these like mini little compositions, which I couldn't really appreciate as a bigger piece when I printed it. Like, that's pretty cool, but like as a larger piece, that was kind of hard for me to like. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down, and then I'll go ahead and punch the holes. I'll show you what I use to punch my holes. So stick around for that tool in just a moment. I think I've cut down all of the papers that I want to cut down for this notebook, and I kept these out just because I kind of like them and I might use them for something else. And the pages in here I've just kind of randomly put in here. Mostly grays and blacks, and then that orange paper too. So I kind of like the limited color palette anyway. And I'm going to punch the holes for the stab binding. All right, I changed my microphone so if it sounds a little different, that's why. There's some background noise happening, so I'm hoping that you can just hear my voice right now. But I was thinking about what to use to actually bind the notebook, and of course, I'm gonna use this string, which would be perfect. And so I'm going to figure out where the other two holes are going to go, and I'm going to use this tool. I'm sure there are lots of different brands. This is, I think, from probably Joann's or Michael's at some point. The one that I have is this brand, which is probably for like scrapbooking or something. But I think that you can do those whatchamacallits. I didn't really need it for my purposes, but there are two sides that create smaller holes and more like regular sized holes of like a hole punch, and then these move depending on how far in you want to punch the hole. So I'm just gonna take one of these papers to use as a template, one that I don't like very much maybe, or maybe it doesn't matter. But I like them all now. I've gone to not liking them very much to liking them a lot actually. So it doesn't really matter. Gosh, now I have all of these out of order. they're not really in order. All I know is that I kind of wanted that to be in the front. And it doesn't really matter 'cause it's not. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the string off so that I can use it for the binding. I think it's long enough. And I'm going to use just one of the papers that I cut as a template. And so this, I'm going to move this up here. So that's kind of how far that hole is in, right there. I'll just make a punch. Actually, I'm not going to make a punch. I'm just going to fold this in half. And that'll give me the middle. So that should, that's in the middle, should line up pretty much. And then I'm going to do equal distance, equally spaced hole here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half like I did, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. This is my avoidance of rulers. So really that hole wasn't quite in the middle, but whatever. Then I'm going to punch, let me punch a hole on this line. And then where this was folded, I'm going to punch a hole there. And then it should be evenly spaced, more or less. And then it's just going to be a process of lining these up and punching. I can't punch through all of them at the same time, but I can do like, let's see if I can get through this amount. Yeah, easy. And then I'm gonna just set this aside. Get another little stack here. Punch. It's getting a little dark out, so the lighting looks pretty good actually from my little iPhone that I'm using. By the way, I use my old iPhone 6 for all of my videos so far. Can you tell? I'm not really here for production quality. I'm here to give you ideas and teach you a thing or two, maybe. So if you like this video, even with my iPhone 6 recording quality, let me know. This is a good time to give this video a thumbs up too. That really helps me out as I grow my little YouTube channel. I love when you comment too, especially on content that you like, because obviously I'd like to make content that people are interested in. So I have all of my 3 holes in each of those papers, and now I'm going to do the covers. So I'll do the front and the back cover at the same time. Sometimes the little paper gets stuck in the hole. All right, so I suppose I'm not gonna use that. Get out of here. Okay. Oh, interesting. So that hole was a little off, but hey, whatever. All right. So I was gonna add something here. I'm not totally sure yet. I think I'm gonna stitch it together and then decide. This is probably, I hope, gonna be the right size for this binding. So let me think about the needle I'm gonna use. Do I need a needle? I think I might use a piece of tape. I don't know. Let me think about that and get back to you. Oh, I found this needle. Hopefully I can get it. Oh yeah, I can get it through there. Easy peasy. I'm gonna do the 3-hole stab binding that I just did a tutorial on, so I'll link that below or up there somewhere if you want to watch that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and go for it, and I'll show you the end result. Ooh, it's getting a little short. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be long enough. Oh gosh. It's totally not gonna be long enough. Well, that's unfortunate. That would have been so cool. Maybe I can, you know, maybe I'll just do a variation of that binding. I think I'll do that. See, we're always innovating. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do what I did, except I'm gonna do a shorter version. Watch this. Do you think I can do it? You think it's gonna work? Do you think I should just get a piece of thread? What should I do? Am I wasting my time right now? Well, if this doesn't work, I have another idea, so stick with me. Oh, it's gonna come so close. That. I think I can do it. Can I do, oh my gosh. I think I'm just gonna tie it back here. I don't really like how that looks totally. But you know, I think I'll be okay with it. What do you think? I think I'll do it. I think I'll just tie it off on the back. I like to do little bows when I do my stab binding, but it just wasn't in the cards for me. It's okay. I kind of like it. I'm sure it'll grow on me a little bit more than it is. So there's the back. There's the front. Here are all of the fun pages. Here's my size. I got a white shirt. I'm wearing it right now. I don't usually wear white shirts, but hey. what should I do here? What ideas do you have? I have a couple of ideas. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna hear what your ideas are for this cover. And while you're at it, what would you use this notebook for? I'm curious. I gotta say, I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. Whew, I wasn't sure there. So fun. What would you use this notebook for? I'm curious. Would you draw in it, write in it, collage in it? Which pages do you like better? Do you like the super black and white pages, the black and blue pages? Ooh, these lines are pretty fun. Do you like just the simple minimal pages? I like those. Those are fun. I can do a lot with that. Oh my. Ooh, I like that one too. So fun. I think maybe I'll cover that up too because I don't really care about Francesca. Sorry. Made a cool shirt though. It's linen. What should I do with the cover? Ooh, I want to work on that, but I think I'm going to stop the video here. I want to hear what your ideas are, so like this video, comment below, and I'm sure I'll post a video or a post about what I decided to do with the cover on my Instagram page, which, by the way, I just reached 10,000 followers. So if you're following along on Instagram, thank you for following me. It was super fun to interact with all of you and